This is arguably the home of the mobile revolution that dominated much of the 90s and the 2000s. But these days, with its mobile division handed off to Microsoft and plans to spin off its map divisions, Nokia Networks is banking on what could be an even bigger business. This is Nokia Networks headquarters in Espoo, Finland, and despite its recent downsizing, Networks is still a $26.5 billion business, placing big bets on what they see as the next generation of mobile networks, the race to 5G. Lauri Oksanen is head of research at Nokia Networks.
We see three main classes of drivers for 5G. One of those is the existing consumer demand, which is driven, for example, by video and immersive multimedia. The second one is the Internet of Things, because we will need to connect everything. We will need to connect robots and jet engine diagnostics and things which produce actually vast amounts of information, so we need wide bandwidths. And the third case is when we really enable the extremely low latency or delay in the networks. And then we can open things like really virtual reality so that people feel that they are really in the presence of each other. There's no discernible delay.
Just in front of the company's R&D building is the Solutions Experience Center. Think of this as the ultimate invite-only showroom for mobile tech. And this place is in more demand than usual, and for good reason. In April 2015, Nokia unveiled technology that took the mobile world by storm. What is currently the fastest implementation of 5G technology out there?
We showed the demonstration in Brooklyn in April, which showed how we can deliver 10 gigabits per second over the air. That seems to be the fastest which has been publicly demonstrated by now.
Nokia's base station is 25% faster than its closest rival, Samsung, which demoed its 7.5 gigabit per second 5G technology in October 2014. And whilst it might not be quite ready for prime time, Nokia thinks its unique approach of beaming a dedicated signal to every mobile user could be a winner. This is a 5G unit. It may be promising in terms of performances, but from the outside it's not very glamorous.
Yeah, this is a prototype unit that we are using in our research, so what matters is what's inside.
So what's inside?
There is similar subsystems here what are in normal base stations, but this is for the millimeter wave frequency. So this particular device is using 73 gigahertz RF part, and then there is a baseband part that does the signal processing for our 5G.
Whilst current cell networks use anywhere between 800 and 2500 MHz, Nokia's 5G system broke the speed record using that completely new 73,000 MHz wireless spectrum, or 73 GHz. So far, that frequency has only been used for commercial and military operations, but it lets Nokia tighten the gap between waves, allowing them to squeeze more data more tightly, but also lower the delay to transmit and receive a request, opening the door to a new collection of real-world applications.
We are introducing new technologies in the new spectrum. With the current technologies, you are having quite long latencies in the communication, but with 5G, you can actually reduce it to this order of millisecond. And here you can see, for example, in this car scenario that we had, with the device-to-device communication enabled by 5G, you can actually smooth the braking so that this self-driving car will have time to brake.
But high frequencies also create big challenges. With waves packed so close together, the likelihood of interference disrupting the signal is a problem too.
The new systems on these high frequencies will need some other tricks to make sure that the links continue. For example, even though they don't go through windows, you will have reflections so that you don't need to have just line of sight. We are aiming to have a much more reliable system than currently, roughly 10 times improvement in reliability.
And whilst Nokia's 5G technology means data can go faster, there's also capacity issues. The company believes each and every one of us will use around 1 gigabyte of data a day by 2020, and with current technology, networks would grind to a halt. But the engineers have developed a unique answer to that, proposing a system to completely overhaul the existing mobile network model.
Currently we see a throughput of around 20 megabytes per second in the uplink, and people suffer because of the latency. Now we switch the centralized RAN feature on.
And we can see there's a huge difference.
And you can see that the performance goes up 3 to 4 times. So we go from 20 to almost 100 megabytes per second.
Essentially, C-RAN can merge the spectrum of all cell networks, meaning a single base station can then decode and route the data of all carriers, something they say could save millions in infrastructure and even battery life for the consumer.
We transmit faster, so that means that we transmit in a shorter time frame. And centralized RAN also reduces the consumption of the battery, so extends the battery lifetime by about 30%.
And despite admitting the competition for full 5G is still very much in the air, Nokia has already begun developing partnerships with major global carriers. You're not the only player on the market. Are you concerned about the competition from other telecom equipment makers?
We are not concerned. We have been able to compete in the past well and cooperate also. Like now, 5G currently is not yet in standardization. That starts next year. But currently we are in pre-standardization research, and we are working with our competition in those research programs, which is a very important part of developing the technology together. And then later on we'll compete, and I think we have shown that we can compete pretty well.